sort of aspect, you know. So
You wouldn't have a go just to see am I in the shot?
you are.
Yeah.
Yep.
Nice one.
Take it. Hang on. Show you where you are.
Yeah. I didn't bring the team with me. That's perfect. Well, yeah, that's perfect as my bald head can be. Fucking hell. Peanut butter or Vegemite? Which is your- Vegemite every time, is it?
Yeah.
That's your second tweet in 2010. I went back through your tweets. So you're going to find that incriminating. Not really.
No, delete all that shit.
Apart from Liverpool, which we won't talk about. That's another fucking...
We brought it as the canteen at the market off James and Swansea in December 2015 to, by the time October 2016, well, we opened up Heron and Grey at the beginning of February 2016, and then in October we got the Star.
Yeah.
Didn't even have a toilet.
Yeah.
It was mental.
That is mental.
I was mental.
Really,
we were serving food on IKEA plates. Like, it was just, I always believed Michelin were linen, fancy service, galoshes, everything was just, that was my belief of Michelin. And I'd worked in a lot of Michelin kitchens up till then, and, that was the norm. And then, for some reason or another, myself and Andy blew it out the fucking window. Like, it was just like, yep, you don't have to have shit, but if you're cooking good food. And I was petrified. I was petrified on the night that we opened because... there's so many things that I had to, so many expectations were, I suppose I'd created in my own head. Mm-hmm. And it wasn't until the
first... Well, it's McCartney and Lennon almost, and it's doing solo thing. I mean, it mightn't be that much level of pressure, but it's the two lads splitting.
Yeah.
And you're keeping the band going.
Yeah, pretty much. But the thing was, I was very adamant that I was going to kill Heron and Grey. Do you know what I mean? Like, it had to die.
Yeah.
As such, or it had to just be a memory. We can't replicate it. And so when we were deciding what we were going to do, a few people had said to me, why don't you just open up and keep on going? Was not going to work because excuse me, because you walk in straight away, it still felt like Heron and Grey. It was going to be compared to Heron and Grey. What's the point?
Yeah.
What's the point? It was like, there's no point. So I said, I'm going to do something dramatic here. And I'm going to rip it apart. I'm going to make it really modern. And so I did. And I just said, if I'm going to do this, I'm going to go all out. And I was so scared when the first customer walked through. And the first customer walked through, turned around and went, fucking hell. This is amazing. And I just, that was it. That was it.
I think you have to be nuts. I mean, forgetting everything, you have to be nuts. And to be successful at it, you have to be extra nuts. Like,
you have to be dropped. Do you know what I mean? Like, you really do. Like, it's a... how do you put it? Like you think about it, right? You're locked in a space. It could be this space, it could be any space. You're locked in a space for 18 hours a day. And all you're seeing is food and just steel, and you're seeing the aesthetics of the restaurant and everything like that. And it's just the same old. Whereas to the guests, it's a new experience every time they walk in.
Yeah,
you can go. You can slightly be mad. Do you know what I mean? Like, and it's I suppose you got to sort of vent it out. And I suppose my way of doing it is when the customers come, like, and I just. And so you've got to be a bit mental to go into a place and work 16 hours a day. Do you know, like, anyone has to be mental to do that, like, but there is a pause there that just, it's super addictive, you get that wow factor when you hit the table, or there could be an hour in the kitchen where we're just slagging each other and we're having the crack and it's just good fun. It's, it's a family. It really is the unwanted family. Do you know that way? Like it's a family of people. Okay. Yeah, it's a family of people that are just together and they look out for each other. We've got each other's backs, and yeah, you've got to be a little bit of a lunatic, I think. You know, like to enjoy it. Like, so yeah, I fell into food, and like to be honest with you, when I first started cooking, I hated it.
Right.
Oh Jesus, I hated it. It was horrible. Like, you know, like I came from a very my background's fairly simple. You know, I come from an average family. We didn't have exposure to all the high-end things that, you know, I cook now and stuff like that. Like it was, you know, like for me, meat and 3 veg was the staple, and you know, mushrooms came out of a tin when I was a kid.
Yeah. Okay.
You know, there's that sort of lifestyle that I had when I was a kid. And so when I started cooking, it was the hours, the nights, and not hanging out with my mates. I was jealous. I was angry because I couldn't go out with my friends and all that sort of stuff. And then it wasn't until I just finished working in London, and I was in a restaurant there, and it was just all French, and it was just French cuisine, and you know, I had probably the best years of my life in that kitchen. Like it was so aggressive. It was so full on. It was a real competitive sort of environment. And it was just like, yeah, I really, really like this. And that's when I sort of just started taking my job that little bit more serious. But yeah, I'm not that sort of guy that can turn around and say, yeah, my grandmother we used to do this with my grandmother.
Yeah, some delicious food or whatever. But that, isn't it interesting? Like you say, this idea of, I mean, it's all over the internet, this idea of discover your passion, and you know straight away. And you won a Michelin star, and you started off doing this and you fucking hated it. It's kind of interesting, you know, for all of these guys. I mean, there's countless books out there, there's countless life coaches, everybody out there saying, you'll know when you really got it right. And you're going,
No, that's bullshit, because... You know, my wife and I, you know, our first daughter came along. I had to take a step back. You know, like I couldn't do the you know, everyone. The traditional story of a chef, or the what's the word? The dreamlike stories that, you know, your grandmother used to teach you how to do all this shite. Yeah. And you know, and I picked cabbages as a kid, and I was throwing rocks at
farm.
I was throwing rocks at windows and getting chased by the cops. Do you know what I mean? Like I was just one of those little shits that just had nothing to do as a kid. You know, like I skateboarded all my teenage years, and I couldn't care less about food. You know, like food for me was, I was just eating. You know, like I just needed something to eat. Like
whilst you've talked about it that it was a few months, it happened over 9 months. Still 23 years in the making.
Yeah, so I had to train.
People look and go, wow, look, they're so lucky and whatever. They just got this thing, but that's not the case.
Nah.
That's pure graft through the years. So it's.
Do you know what that is? That is doing and this is no word of a lie. When I first started cooking, there's a stepping order that you go through. Mm-hmm. Well, back then there was. That you first of all, you do your apprenticeship, then you become a commis chef, then you become a demi chef de partie, then you become a chef de partie, then you become a senior chef de partie, junior sous, executive sous, then you get into...
Right, yeah.
All right, so I did that. Mm. And I went through every single level. Mm. Now, either for 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, I went through all these levels, and I made sure I went through it, and I made sure that I got it on my resume, that I had this position, I've done this position, I got this experiences at that position. Today they don't do that. They just like college, boom, I'm fucking the next Netflix star. Do you know what I mean? Like it's
instant.
Oh, you got to train. You know, like you've got to train. It's not about whether or not you can cook, okay? Like I said, 4 billion people cook, you know, like it's about learning how to run financials. It's about costings. It's about hygiene. It's about staff management, people management. It's about communication. It's about dedication. These are all the side things that you learn by going through the ranks, and that doesn't happen. So yeah, when you win a star and it happens in 7 months or whatever the case may be, everyone's like, "Oh my god, overnight success!" No bullshit, man. I just caned myself for 15 years. I'm not joking. I did minimum 100-hour weeks, and it's a no-brainer. Yeah, okay. You cook good food, good tasty food, in your restaurant, they will come. I've never advertised. I've never put a single ad in the paper, and I never will, because I'm a firm believer that people talk, he talks, and they'll talk to more people, and it could be good or bad. And so anyway, we ended up in the market, and you come into the market, and it's a DIY market. It's very bohemian. It's just got it's a place where young people or young businesses come to start. It's a really good sort of. It's got a great nurturing sort of aspect to it. You can make mistakes. It's not going to cost you an arm and a leg. There's a good community spirit in here as well, which I really, really appreciate. I love the market life, because you just get every character in here, and
there is that kind
and
of
there's
vibe,
a few touched in here as well. You know, and it's just like, I'm with my people here. Do you know what I mean?
I mean, just on a Saturday, this place will be full with the market.
Yeah, it's packed.
Yeah, but the people who own the stalls or the little places, there's a few, all right, tapped in here.
But that's what draws you into it. You know,
I like that kind of mental. Whatever that vibe is, it's just.
And so when I was designing Leah, and Heron and Grey was different, because you could see into Heron and Grey, and it was a cafe beforehand, and then James and Swazik turned it into like this lovely little sort of alternative restaurant. And then I'd fallen in love with it at that stage. And so when we got Heron and Grey, like, we turned it into, it was two lads, no money. We did what we could. We painted the chairs, and we painted everything. We built everything ourselves, and we made our own plates and all that sort of stuff. And it was all great fun. But I just knew that once, when Andy said to me that he was finishing up, I went back to my wife and I said, okay, we got two options here. We can either just sell it off and just walk away, or do we have a go by ourselves and really give it the best that we could, So, and she was like, well, what do you want to do? And I said, well, I want a really sort of state of the art room with an awesome kitchen, but I want it to be, cozy and humble, but I don't want it to be, bloody hipster or any of that sort of stuff. But I just wanted the space almost has to be neutral. When the food hit the table, the food was the star, So I looked at this space and I said, okay, I can do this if I can get the money off the bank. And so it was like, I swear to God, it was down to the wire, because, like, unfortunately the business, Heron and Grey, had closed, so I was pretty much applying for some money with no real sort of credit terms behind me and that. Anyway, the bank came through, which was, and then and then that was it. Like, I just said, okay, this is it. I'm going to do this, and I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it exactly the way I want to do it.
You wouldn't expect coming down into this market.
No, that's the whole element of surprise. Yeah, that's what it is. Like, I was always taught, like, I've had some good life coaches in business over the years. Like, I've worked with some really talented businessmen and Patrick Guibo and then I was working with a guy in Australia as well. He was a very cute businessman, like, he just and Ross and stuff like that. And you'd listen. You'd never say anything. You just listen to what they were saying and how they talk and all that sort of stuff. And one of the key things I learned is that you get the worst place in the best area is the angle of aspect, and turn it into a gold mine. Now, don't get me wrong. This wasn't the worst place, but this was the cheapest.
Yeah. In
a very good area, and it's a no-brainer.
You see, I think the biggest thing that makes somebody like you successful is a sort of an uneasiness, a sort of the prove yourself thing. It's kind of, it's even when you got the star, it was kind of like, as opposed to, it would be impossible for you to rest on your laurels, because even if you say somebody says here's 2, it'd be kind of, I have to prove to. I've got 2. I need to show everybody I'm good enough to have got this 2. And so in some ways that can be, I'm putting this to you as well, it can be debilitating, but it also can be the thing that makes you great. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, and it is. And look, one star gives you a very big sense of responsibility. You've got there's a certain thing that you have to adhere to, because that's what 1 star is. It is a recognition for being very good at what you do, and you must maintain it.
Exceptional. You have to maintain it.
You have to maintain it, Now, going 2 or 3 is even bigger responsibilities. But I think Michelin are very smart in the when they're doing when they are allocating awards to kitchens, is they don't just hand them out like confetti, and some people say, they do it and they don't. Michelin are not stupid. Like, Jesus Christ, they've been going for what, about 113 years now, and you hear things of, they don't inspect for years, and they you hear that they're very biased and bullshit.
I don't think there is many awards in any industry that I'd be aware of that hold people to such high account. And that's there's 3,000 odd in the world. That's small given the number of restaurants.
Oh, Jesus, yeah. Like, that's the thing.
So it is quite exceptional to get it.
It is exceptional. And look at it, and you like, if you get a star or you get acknowledged with a bib or even if you just make it into the guide, it is a great sense of achievement.
Yeah.
And it is an achievement. It's not, you see chefs. I was reading an article there the other day about a chef that's bitching and moaning because he lost his 3rd star. Like, look, you live by the sword, you die by the sword. Like, it's as simple as that. Like, but you have to hold your what am I looking for? You have to understand a few things, right? If you're awarded a star or any sort of award in anything, there's a responsibility, that you've got to sort of adhere to. But the other side of the fence as well is that it can't ruin your drive. You can't become obsessed, and you can, and it's very easy to become obsessed with it. I did go through it, and I managed to sort of check myself and get out of it.
Yeah.
You've got to just be able to say, okay, we've been awarded an award, and what's great about Michelin is that you can lose it the next year.
Yeah.
It's not a given. You earn it.
Yeah.
You earn it each year. You don't just get it and that's it. I'm a 1-star chef or a 2-star or a 3-star. Pressure's on. So I rely heavily on the team to tell me, shite chef. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's and they got no problem. They're allowed. That's the rule.
So how does that work now? Because that's an interesting one. In any dynamic, in any they need to have the balls every time to go, no,
I'm just a person.
Yeah.
They got no need to fear me. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm just a human being just like them. I'm not I'm not this emulated figure or anything like that. I'm their teammate. I'm their co-worker. Yes, I own the bill. I own the restaurant. Yes, I write the menus. Yes, I have the final say. But a good leader is a leader who listens. It's as simple as that. And you got to listen to your team.
Would you wish for your daughter to work and own a Michelin star restaurant? No. Jesus Christ, man. But yet, to you say no, but then for her to have this obsession and to have this absolute...
I can't tell them what to do when they get older. So...
But if they came to and wanted to do it, or they found this passion in a...
If they came to me and they said, Dad, I want to be a chef, well, then I say, well, feck off to another restaurant because I'm not training you. Do you know what I mean? Like, and I'll send them off to someone else.
Yeah. Okay.
There's no way I'd teach them. I wouldn't teach them myself. I'd rather them go out and experience it in a different way of seeing a different line of view.
Yeah.
But like... It's like any parent, really. Like, it depends on what sort of job you do. Like, there's some jobs where you don't want your kids in certain industries, and like, for me, it's not that I don't want them to be in the industry. I just think I'd like them to do something else because they're already in the industry. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
They don't see their dad for 5 days a week. Do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, okay.
So they know they see their dad. They see their dad obsessed at night on his days off, writing recipes and doing the bookwork, and then they see him on his phone checking social media content, and then they all they see and hear is bloody food. Do you know what I mean? Like in restaurants. So as far as I'm concerned, they're already in the industry. They may not work physically in it, but they endure it as well. Like and my wife is exactly the same. She goes through all this and looks after our children, and like she's a fucking hero because she's the one that does all the hard work. Do you know what I mean? Like, I get up, I go to work, and then I come home for 2 days or 2.5 days, and I get to do as much as I can with my kids. But then you're wrecked on the Sunday, and so my kids are already in the industry. Yeah. Hospitality is that everybody eats out on the weekends. That's just the way it is. Like if you're going to be a chef or you're going to work in hospitality, you need to straight away accept that you work weekends, you work nights, because that's what the industry is. It is a nighttime trade. I think the problem is that there's so much bullshit around food these days, of being glorified and everything like that. But what we should just remember is just that, it's we cook food in a way that you can't cook it, right? For one reason only, so you can experience something different. That's why I don't serve beef. You're going to cook it better than me, or you're going to know George in the butcher shop that's going to cook it better than me, or your ma cooks it better than me. And I don't do potatoes because your ma's going to make the best mashed potatoes, or you make the best mashed potatoes. And it's just like, well, feck you. You make them yourself. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm not bothered with it. So I don't do them. Not because I don't love them. I love beef. I love mashed potatoes. I love chips. Do you know what I mean? I love anything like that. But I'm not going to give you that because you need to eat. I want to give you things that you haven't tried, or you're scared to try, or you.
We see. I think that's the thing as well. Like, it takes you out of this known versus, like, if you put down a choice menu for me, more than likely
you'll go with things that are safe
and the known, or something I've had the last time that was really good. It's not worth the risk. And I am definitely one of those people. It'll always be, I look for vump and I look for a vump, and that
99.9%. We all do that. I even do that. I'll go to an Italian restaurant and I'll look for a penne arrabbiata.
Okay.
Because that's the dish that I just know you've got to be really shit to feck that up. Do you know what I mean? So I'll go, and that is my dish to go to. Okay. Or, like it could be, if there's beef on the menu, do I feel like beef tonight? No. But, you look, they're the key words: beef, chicken, prawns, like it's all that. But that's why we don't give you a menu at the beginning. We don't let you see the menu.
I love that.
The idea behind that is, if I said duck to you, subconsciously you've just thought of 4 duck dishes that you've eaten in the past. 2 of them could be shit, 2 of them could be amazing. You've already made you've already preconceived of what you're going to think about that dish. Whereas if I fire it into you in front of you and you start to smell, you don't have time to make comparisons. So you're gonna try it, and you're gonna go, that was okay, or you're gonna go, oh whoa, that was mental, that was amazing. Do you know what I mean? Like, it binds us together. It doesn't matter what walk of life we are. We all eat, and we all enjoy sitting around together eating, and that, I suppose, that in itself is the simplicity of food. Like, food brings us together, and you're going to be having a shit day, and you sit down and you eat a piece of sea bass that's just off the hook with a bit of butter, beurre blanc on it, and and you just put into this state of fulfillment, and you're just like, that was good, and then you have a nice glass of Chablis with it, and you're like, oh, and you're just like, it's the simplest thing, but Jesus Christ, the way it sends these euphoric sort of elements to your mind.
I'm sure there is the science of what parts are ignited in the brain, and it's just suddenly boom.
And for me, I suppose, I hate using the word passion. But I love it when I'm going to a table and I know that I just know that the dish is awesome because everyone says to me it's awesome. And you put it down in front of you, and you're just like, you're about to give them, an introduction to the dish, and after time I end up going, this is just fucking awesome. Just eat it. I'll come back and I'll tell you when it's finished. There's a dish that I did that was inspired, and where it's a kebab. It's like a kebab, right? And it's got the same flavors as a kebab. But it's that point of the night at 2 o'clock in the morning when you're walking home and you've got that last bit of shitty kebab in the back and you just know it's the best bit and you're just savouring it and savouring it, savouring it, and then you smash it and then you go to bed and you've got a good night's sleep. Do you know what I mean? Like,
I have a mate who woke up with it a few times. The last bit
on your belly, man.
Yeah, he just didn't eat the last bit. He fell asleep.
And I've explained this to the customers, and they're looking at me going, and then when I come back, they're going, "Oh man, you nailed it! It's exactly what it is." You know, and then yet again, we've been connected of this moment that we've all experienced, or we've heard of people experience it. And so that's why we don't give you a menu. It's not because we're egotistical or any of that sort of stuff. It's because we don't want you to pre-think.
Yeah, it's an experience. But you see, in a way, when you said whatever you said there, and you had said it earlier on as well about your memories, and you build up your palate through memory and whatever. But so I grew up. I think I was saying this back when with JP, but I mean, my mother burnt the carrots, right? And it's terrible. And I could smell the burnt carrots coming down the driveway. Now there's a distinct smell of burnt carrots, and you can't get rid of it when you put it on the plate. You might be able to take out the burn ones, but it does emanate.
No, once you burn something, it will go through anything that's
even
in the
that
pot.
is not. And she would just get rid of ones that with black on.
Get rid of the black ones.
I said, then how are you supposed to not hate vegetables and hate food in general? And then if she cooked a lamb, cooked lamb once, absolutely zero love gone in it, and I'm going, I hate lamb forever. And then likewise with steak, my dad was burnt to a cinder. Everything is burnt to a cinder, and he wanted the end bits, so I ended up wanting the end bits. So that's just the way it is, though.
It is the way it is. I hated mushrooms
right
up until I was 20. I was 23, I think. I hated mushrooms because my ma used to give me those horrible champignons out of the tin in a beef stroganoff she made. But the beef stroganoff was beautiful, but it was just those squeaky mushrooms and they when you ate them, you know. So all mushrooms were off the board for me.
Yeah.
I remember I was in Scotland and I was working in the kitchen, and the guy was the guy was in the kitchen, Big Davy. Right.
Okay.
Now this guy was younger than me, and he was 6'5", 200, whatever he was. He was a big bastard, man. And I connected with him because we just got on really, really well. And anyway, we're doing this mushroom on brioche, real classic, you know, with Madeira sauce and all that sort of stuff as a starter. And he said to me, "Try the mushrooms." And I said, "Fuck off, I hate mushrooms." You know what I mean? Like, he looked at me, right? He says, "What do you mean you hate mushrooms?" I said, "I hate mushrooms. I don't eat them." Do you know what I mean? Like, so he beat me. He ripped the shirt off my jacket and then beat me around the kitchen for about an hour, right? Saying, "You're going to eat those mushrooms because I'm going to change you." And I was like, "I'm not eating the mushrooms." And like, when I say beating, like we're having a crack and like we're messing on that. But he gave me good hiding that day. And anyway, I said, "Right, look, fuck, I'm sick of you hitting me. Right, give me a mushroom and I'll try it."
Yeah.
And I tried it. And it was the biggest fucking revelation I had in my life because it was cooked properly.
Yeah.
It was done in a way that he showed the mushroom respect, and he really showed me how to cook it and how to add flavor to it, and I was blown away. I was like, "Oh my God, this is amazing." I mean it from the bottom of my heart. I've worked for everything I own in life. I've never been handed anything. And so when you come into my restaurant, you sit down, you spend your hard-earned money, and you've enjoyed what we've done. I feel so privileged that it's a sense of privilege, being honoured that you came into my restaurant and you gave us a chance to entertain you for the night. And when you come back the second time, I even feel more special because it means that you like what we do, but you also gave us a chance to do it again next week. And that means so much, and it doesn't, not just from me, but from the guys in the kitchen, from the guys on the floor, from the team, where we really appreciate everybody that walks through our door, because even if they are an arsehole, like I've had one or two of them.
Yeah.
Really
there you go.
Thank you. Thank you. I didn't even know what fucking Vegemite is. I thought it's something like Marmite.
It is. It's just fucking
vegetable
bovril shit boiled down.
We're talking
Hi, if you like the conversation that I just had and you'd like more, please hit the subscribe button. Thank you.
Frank, what a man.